Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chaos, Clarity, and Confidence, Finding You Again. I am your host, Victoria. I am your holistic health strategist, author, and your midlife guide to releasing the chaos to help you reclaim the confidence that is within. Today's guest is a woman whose journey will move you to your core. She has an amazing story that I am really excited to dive into. At 22 or 27, she experienced unimaginable loss when she witnessed her brother take his own life, an event that sent her into years of survival mode. But with that followed one of the most powerful stories of transformation, forgiveness, and really rediscovering who she was. From single motherhood to nursing school, divorce, stand-up comedy, and now intuitive life coaching, she has turned her path and her pain into purpose, showing us what is it really truly means to find joy after the trauma. So, Danielle, welcome so much. I am really excited to dive into this conversation. I think we're going to have a lot of fun here today. Please tell us more about you and share a bit of your story.
Yeah, thank you so much. I literally got emotional listening to my own story. But thank you. That was one of the best introductions I have ever had. So thank you so much for having me on. It means so much to me. Um, so yes, I am Danielle Booher, and you told some of the really important parts of my story, but part of my story is that I was a military brat. I became a mom at 18 years old.
Mm.
And by 20 years old, I was pregnant with my second son, and we were living in a homeless shelter. While my oldest one was like 1.5 or two. And then I kind of just was always stuck listening to what everybody else thought about me. So I never knew my worth. I never had confidence. I always, when you say chaos, holy moly, it was just, that's how I lived, was like literally in like flight or fight, like survival mode. Fast forward, I was in an abusive relationship. Even at my job, I got kicked by the GM when I was like 16 years old at a restaurant. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so I ended up leaving Maryland and going to Ohio. And at that point, um, I was just a single mom of two kids.
Hmm.
Uh, I was working two jobs, going to prerequisites for nursing school. And that's when I witnessed my brother pass away, but it was via telephone. My mom called me and asked me to like calm him down.
Mm.
And um, and then I heard him take his own life. I went from the most extroverted person to the most introverted person. I didn't care about life anymore. I didn't want to take my life, but I just really didn't care about stuff. But thank God I had those two kids, so I had to keep going.
Mhm.
I almost quit nursing school before I started it, and then I tried to drop out 3 times. One of them
Wow.
was the final week of my last, right before graduation, and angels were placed in my way the whole entire time.
Mm.
So at that point, we were planning the wedding. We were about to get married. After I graduated, we got married a couple weeks later. Then, well, I turned 30, got married, then found out we were pregnant with my daughter. Had a rough pregnancy. I had placenta previa, and I lost a baby to placenta abrupta. They 25 weeks stillborn, like years before that.
Yeah.
And so I was petrified. But anyway, so yeah, that's part of the story. But do you want me to keep going how I discovered this, or do you want to ask me? I'm just asking you what you
Yeah. Yeah, no, keep going.
Okay.
I'd love to hear how we came to where you are now because I'm
Okay.
excited to dig into what you're doing now for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you. Okay. So we were in Ohio at that time. I graduated nursing school, got married,
Mhm.
got pregnant, and then had my daughter. She's healthy. She's now 12. But the marriage was not fantastical. But I also found out later on that, of course, I had some part of the blame because he was cheating on me and stuff. So I was like, oh, this and that. But I also was mean and dismissive and all that because I was like, you're embarrassing me. And we lived in a little tiny town. So we ended up getting separated. I left and went from Ohio to Georgia, but I missed the important part of the situation. I had two businesses at the time, but the most important part is that I got a bonus son. So he moved in with us when he was 4 years old, and he lived with me constantly because he didn't know his biological mom really. So that was my son. And from 4 to 11, I raised him and then had to leave him behind. That was one of the hardest things that I have ever done.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him in 6 years now. But he's an adult. He's now 19 and he goes to college in Ohio. So we are definitely going to go make a trip and see him. But that was a big journey. I dealt with the cheating because I didn't want to leave my son. And eventually it was too much and we left. I had to put the situation, I had to put myself first and all of the children basically, because he was bringing that lady around and it was really bad. Like it wasn't fair for them. It was toxic. And so I had to make a choice to not be selfish and just want to stay around just for that reason. So came to Georgia. Now, Georgia's where I discovered myself. For a while, I was like, now I'm a single mom of 3 kids because I had 4, but now I only could take the 3. And it was a lot. We left in a very traumatic situation. He was threatening me and stuff. So all we had was papers, some clothes, and that's it. And the 3 kids that I gave birth to. And I left my dog behind that we adopted, my house, my 2 businesses. I had to pay somebody back for photography because I had a wedding booked and I had to pay them back because I left. But I started over, but it was a beautiful thing. But I still was like struggling and didn't know I was grieving. I didn't know that all that trauma was still following me everywhere I went. And so I got in a new relationship, which wasn't honestly the best one, but it taught me so much. So yes, it was good in ways. He encouraged me to do things that I always wanted to do. And one of those was stand-up comedy. So I was turning 40 and that was my year of like explosiveness of me discovering myself. So I was turning 40 in 2022 and he's like, you know what? You always wanted to do this. Oh, actually, I tried it before this. Sorry, that was in 2019. Right before COVID, I did some stand-up, background acting first. Okay. And then 2022 is when I started the comedy. I thought about it myself, but he always encouraged me to do things. I met someone, it was like divine intervention. I met someone, she owns a comedy school in Atlanta. She's a female, like it was just like boom, 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 boom. Okay. Took classes, became a stand-up comedian. It was amazing. Yeah. Very fun, amazing. But I was self-deprecating. All I did was make fun of myself. So a few months after I started that, I interviewed somebody, also started a podcast that year. Like it was like bam, bam, bam. But I interviewed this awesome guy who I love to rap. That's so fun. You don't have to ask me about that, but I love to rap. And so he was like,
I feel like we need to know about that. You can't rap. I love to rap, but don't talk about it.
Talk about it's not relevant, but he so I interviewed this guy. He's like a money guy. He teaches people how to make millions of dollars and has all this real estate afterwards. But they told me sharp he has to be off. Like he has to be off exactly at this time. And I was like scared. I was like, okay. So we got off and he stayed with me after and like off air. And I was like, okay. And he said, I should be the rapping life coach. Have you ever thought about being a life coach? I was like, absolutely. So I went on a forgiveness journey. That's the whole point of that story. I went on a forgiveness journey and I literally like my whole life changed. I understood and realized that I could not save my brother. I had the guilt, the shame, all those things. Yeah. Even from like having my kids young and making choices and moving from state to state 2 times and this and that, leaving my one son behind and all that. And like I had to forgive myself for those things. But I also had to forgive my brother, and I love my mother. I forgave my mother, forgave the people that I got and like that hurt me in those ways. But the forgiveness wasn't for them. It's to like literally the weight just lifted off. And I was free of that. Right. So the darkness and the heaviness and I call it a zombie robot, but the living in because I'm silly, living in the like autopilot for so long, just stopped and I was like, oh my gosh, who am I? Like,
Yeah.
who am I? It was like I woke up, it was my aha moment. Um, so I became a life coach. And then I also am a nurse. So like I'm working as a nurse, becoming a life coach, all these things, and did the podcast, blah, blah, blah. Like all this stuff is going. But this year has been a very big year. Last year and this year has been a big year for me because I got rid of that toxic relationship. My last stroke like events, I've had lots of health issues. I was life flighted in 2014. They thought I had a stroke several times in my life. They told me I had a stroke the next day. Oh, it was artifact. It wasn't real, all this stuff. Almost passing out all the time, debilitating migraines, chronic back pain, all this stuff. And this is all from trauma lurking around. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So last year, I got rid of that relationship right after, like a couple months after my last stroke like event. My right side went out again. And he got out. And everything, no offense to him, because he is a good guy. He helped me so much. But ever since I got rid of that, like toxicness, and it was blocking everything. I
Mm.
realized that I was intuitive. I had no clue. I was interviewing someone and she started like reading my daughter and all. And then I talked to her afterwards and I was like, holy moly, like I've done that, this and that, took classes and like it just went on from there. I'm now pain free. My chronic pain is gone. I've been doing mind body work.
Wow.
I have a mind body coach. I became a Reiki master. I do EFT and TFT. I started reading oracle cards. And listen, ladies, I was told over and over and over again that I need to do this. And I said, no, people are going to judge me.
Mhm.
People are going to do this. What about my sister who's religious? What about this? I'm a nurse. What am I going to get in trouble? And
Yeah.
and so I was like hindering my path because I was worried about everything else. Um, and like literally so much stuff has opened up since the mind body work, like getting my life back. I've gained my freedom back, my life back, like not having debilitating migraines and chronic pain, being able to help others with theirs.
Mhm.
It's such a beautiful joy and blessing that I could never, ever, ever fathom before. Like when I was in those situations, like never could I never thought I was never going to have pain, right? I just thought forever I was just going to be the person that lived at a six. That was my story. I was like, I live at a six. They're like, what? I'm like, yep, don't go lower. But also mindset, like me claiming that every day, that's where I lived because I brought that energy to me. So that's what I like kept getting more of.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more we focus on, that's what we create more of. So if you focus on what also changed my life, y'all, is positive affirmations. Please do them. My
Mhm.
favorite one is I am worthy and I am enough. Two of those like changed my life completely as well. So now I'm doing lives every night, basically on TikTok, except for one while I'm working as a nurse, being a single mom of now I'm just a single mom of one. The other ones are grown. And I get to help people. I just had an amazing session just right before this that ended at like 2:50 and it ended right before I came on this interview. And but it was so beautiful and touching and like I can give people like help them. I'm just the channel and the vessel, but I can help them get closure and clarity and just like it's just amazing. And I'm done. Sorry, I talked for a lot of time, but
No,
it's just
that was
amazing.
amazing.
It makes me so happy. Like
Ah, I think a couple things that really stood out to me in what you were saying there is how when you finally started to change the narrative, right? I'm a big advocate of that. If you're constantly telling yourself, I'm sick, I'm depressed, and you're stuck in that narrative, well, guess what? You are, right? Like
yeah,
that you are because you keep talking about it. And I love that you saw that as you started to come into yourself and release the toxic patterns and the toxic people that you were able to start to change that narrative. And I think, so many women we get stuck in that the societal roles, right? We're supposed to do this, we're supposed to follow this path, we're supposed to do this, and we do worry, are they going to judge me? I'm outside the norm, I'm doing things that aren't, what everyone tells me I should do. But as you were starting to step into that and you're starting to release these fears and these judgments, did you find that as you released them, more amazing things were able to take the space of the fears because you were letting go and making room for them?
Absolutely. Yes, that's a great question. Yeah, absolutely. So as I like stepped into my purpose or power and try and started saying, "Oh wow, this is what I'm supposed to do," more and more amazing things are happening because I'm not scared anymore. I'm not worried as much. I'm not worried. I'm like, you know what? If this is my path and I'm truly making a purpose and I help women too, but men come on my lives. I don't have a problem with that, of course. But like if I can help them, like that's what I'm supposed to do. And so why not do it? Like, why would I let other people's judgments stop me from potentially helping thousands of women or people and changing their lives, and maybe that's what they need to change their generations and get rid of their generational trauma. Like it's just a trickle effect.
Yeah.
But and I have goosebumps. Woo.
Yeah.
So that's my way of like spirit saying yes. That's like confirmation. But yeah, absolutely. The more we live in fear, the more we stay stuck, the more that we are blinded to stuff. We don't see what we're really supposed to be going on. Our intuition, that's what happened with me. My intuition was blocked for forever. I didn't know that I know the word intuition and people have one, but I never listened to mine, like I never ever. And now I do. And it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, just that you started to do that, right? It's not instant. You don't make a choice one day, wake up, and then life is a completely different thing. Well, sometimes it happens that way, but for those listening that are maybe thinking, okay, I'm ready to make a change. I'm ready to step into something different. What what advice do you give them? What advice would you give that person listening that is like on that cusp of shedding the old, but not quite ready to fully step into their new amazing life?
Yeah. So basically when you're like in between stages,
Yeah.
uh trying to be as positive as you can, number one.
Mm,
Um, don't focus on the future, which causes anxiety. Don't dwell on the past, which causes depression.
mm,
Stay in the present and be grateful for every little thing you already have.
mm,
No matter if it's not the best situation, no matter if it's definitely not where you want to be grateful because gratitude is the vibration that
mm,
you need to be in. So that raises your vibration.
mhm.
So more and more things, and I got goosebumps again,
Yeah.
more and more things will come your way
Mhm,
if you raise your vibration.
mhm,
Also, one step you can do that's 100% free is try affirmations. They're not for everybody,
mhm,
but try them. It changed me. I literally had the worst self-esteem. I like had imposter syndrome. I was a people pleaser. I just thought that like I wasn't ever good enough, that
mhm.
I didn't deserve this stuff and all that. And that's bull crap. It's not true. But saying those positive affirmations, it's very funny because it sounds very vain, and I promise I'm not. But if I don't say them looking in the mirror and smiling, I'm like, I didn't do it right. Like, I really want to look at myself,
Yeah.
see myself, and feel it. And honestly, I'm telling you, I promise this. I literally started looking at good things on me instead of bad. The other day I said, "Oh my gosh, my skin's actually smooth." I just turned 43. I'm like, "My skin is actually smooth. Wow." Like instead of focusing on, "Oh, I have hair like or this or that or I have age spot." No, no, no. I'm like focusing on I'm like, "Oh, cool. My eyes look cool in the light."
Mhm.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I could look at my gray hair or say whatever, but I'm not. I'm focusing on the good things.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that I deserve the best. And that's another thing. It's like if you're in that in between stage, just knowing
Mm,
that you taking a step forward and you're going towards that path, just believe it. Because every time we doubt, we can go back a little bit more.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So believe in yourself and love yourself.
Mm,
And then the love and abundance of wealth, health, relationships, all the things will come. But
mhm.
you have to love inside you. And that is hard.
Yeah.
And that is hard. And forgiveness is important. Again, like I would always suggest forgive. Write down who you need to forgive or the situation, who you need to forgive, why you need to forgive them, all that stuff.
Mm,
And then you can even write down the words, I let it go. And then go on to the next, I let it go. or I let it go because it no longer serves me. I let it go because it causes anxiety. I let it go, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And then you can tear it up, crumble it, cut it, whatever you want to do, and get rid of it. And then let it be, right? And
Yeah.
that's something you can do if you're stuck, because all of those things don't cost money.
Hmm.
You can do them yourself. You don't, I mean, it's nice to have a coach. I am a coach. It's nice to have people that help you and a mentor, but you can do those steps yourself.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just knowing that anything is possible and that you are worthy and you deserve it. Remember that every day that you're worthy. That's why I love that affirmation,
Mm.
because you are.
Yeah.
You are. So like just remember that you deserve everything, you're worthy, and that you're loved. And then I think that helped me get to the next stage in where I am now. Because honestly, I started affirmations maybe like 9 months ago. And it literally changed my world. There's meditation that helped me too, and journaling, but yeah, try those things. Write down your feelings, write down what you want. What I do every day is write, I'm so excited and grateful that. And then I write something that didn't happen yet that I want to happen. And one of them just happened, by the way, guys. It was such a blessing. I wrote down the other day, I'm so excited and grateful that I have 100 likes on TikTok. I think that's whatever it was, 100,000, sorry, not 100,000 likes during my live on TikTok. Last night, we got to 100. I was crying. Everybody was celebrating with me. I think there was like 50 people in the room. One person wrote, let's get to 200. In my mind, I automatically thought, I don't know. Nope. And we just kept going. And so we got to 209,000 likes, guys.
Wow.
That is so amazing. And I put it out there, and I kind of had a little bit of doubt, which is not good. Don't do that. But like I put it out there and was like, universe,
Yes.
and so that's amazing. Like that is so fun. But there's other stuff that I do. I even say about my goal weight. I'm so excited and grateful that I am such and such pounds. I'm so excited and grateful that I am a millionaire. I'm so excited and grateful that I'm helping 10 clients a week. It doesn't have to be all about you. It could be about your family. It could be about anything that you want. But it really is helpful. And those things, it's like manifesting those things, but actually believing it
Yeah.
and writing it and reading it out loud again. So like I write it, I think it, I write it, I say it out loud. So
Mm.
try it works.
I love that. And I love that, it's all about the energetics around it, right? And so if we're, like you said, if you're sitting in front of the mirror and you're doing those affirmations where you have to like look yourself square in the face,
Yeah.
and you can tell if you're bullshitting yourself because you're looking at yourself, right? So you can say, no, we're going to do this again and we're going to change the energetics. I am so pretty today. I love my eyes today, or whatever it is. But yeah, I love that. I do. I've done a lot of mirror work, and when in my coaching too, we do a lot of mirror work because that is just the thing when you're there face to face with, and it's just you yourself and yourself, right? You can't bullshit. It is what it is. And
Yeah.
I love that, you take that and then you're putting it on the paper. You're changing the energetics around everything. And I think it's powerful to note that, I know your story is probably similar to a lot of women have been through those, situations where they are the single mom. They're feeling like everything has been taken away from them. They're in those places where it's dark, it's heavy. And then to hear, how your story, you've been able to use these tools and to move through and out of that, that they actually work, right? We all hear the woo woo about, this stuff, but to see a living vibrational match to this is working. Look at what she's doing. That is something I'm really grateful that you came and shared that with us today. So you mentioned you're a coach now. So tell us about like what do you do? Also, I didn't know you were on TikTok. I must have missed that in the notes. So I'm gonna go. I want to be a part of some of these lives.
Brand new, my love. Victoria, I'm telling you right now. Listen, I'm getting pumped up. I'm excited. This is brand new. TikTok is brand new. I have been going live since September 25th, but it will show you the 26th because it was like nighttime for me, but I couldn't log on and it became like 2 in the morning. Also, never give up, guys. I am so persistent. If you follow me on Facebook, you're going to watch me jump on a 24-inch box. I have pots. I have all this stuff. I was almost passing out all the time. had chronic pain, have arthritis, all this stuff, and anything is possible. But back to TikTok. So I was led to do this. I'm like, I was led to be one of these people, and I'm like, I'm putting myself out there. Oh my gosh, like I don't know about this.
Mhm.
And I named my name is Soul Rise Intuitive, which is I love that name. But what happened was is that you have to get so many followers to be able to go live. So I was like, okay, I'm supposed to go live, and so I got them pretty fast, and then I did my first live, and I use my. Can I show my?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is Unikite. I have three, but they're all different. I also have clear quartz right here. This is Unikite. So I use a pendulum. Here's clear quartz. That's not my favorite. No offense, clear quartz. It's a healing master crystal, but it doesn't move like the other ones do. So nobody can see it. Like it's harder for people to see, but I do love clear quartz. It's my jam. I have clear quartz, but okay. So I have another one as well, but they each have a reason. The other one's for abundance. This is for like energy healing. There's just different reasons, but Unikite is my BFF. And so what happened was I just started going on and answering yes or no questions. I don't do pregnancy questions though. And the first night I was so pumped. I got 1,300 likes, and I was like, yeah. And so I like it grew like basically every day. I also do tapping on tapping live. I just did one today. I do tapping live a few times a week, and that's during the day. So I always joke because by nighttime people think that I'm doing questions during the day, and I'm like, no, y'all, that's my nighttime job. Okay. So I do tapping live during the day. Today I got one person from a 10 to a 3, another person from a 10 to a 3.5, another person from a 7 to a 0. So what I do as a coach, I'm sorry, I'm so excited. I'm getting so like a puppy. Like a puppy. I'm so sorry. What I do as a coach, and I integrate that, it's my energy work on TikTok as well, is I help women that have invisible illnesses like me minimize their pain and symptoms and maximize their life and thrive instead of survive. So that's something that has changed my world, and I got my life back, and I don't want people to suffer for 20 plus years like I did. So, and I'm getting emotional. 333 on the clock. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, it's 333.
But yeah, that's something important to me, and I'm very passionate about it because I literally was so stubborn and just accepted that was my future when all along it wasn't. My future is way brighter, and yours is too, way brighter than that. So if you are having pain, anxiety, depression, phobias, anger, whatever it is, like you don't have to live there. Like that's not normal, but you think it's your normal when you're there. Like even people that grew up in poverty, you think that that's normal, that everybody gets their electricity cut off, or everybody's on food stamps, or everybody's this, but that's not true. And another thing I could say is, everybody says this, it's not just me. But if you want to be wealthy, be around wealthy people. I'm also an author. But if I, want to be an author or write books, I need to be around authors. Or if I want to make millions of dollars, I need to go into meetings where people are making $1 million. I want to be a healer. I need to be around more healers. So I'm being led to, you might not see it. I don't know where it is. Okay. Anyway, I wrote a book in honor of my brother. I skipped that part. So I wrote a book in honor of my brother that passed away that I was talking about. And that's all about helping as well. So it's for children 11 and up. But my whole goal is and putting yourself out there, you all, it's
hard.
It's scary. Yeah. But you have good intentions, and you are, especially as a healer, that energy is going to be reciprocated, and it's going to be okay. Like you're going to be okay. So it's bigger than you, right? This is all bigger than you. Victoria is bigger than me. Like you're helping your audience. like the effect that we have is so great that we don't even know. You don't know everybody that's listening, or they might not reach out to you, but you might have saved their life or changed them and stop their chaos. And it's really cool that that's the name, because and I'm doing another one. My webinar is called From Chaos to Calm. The importance, the healing energy. Oh my gosh, I don't even know the own name. Calm down, Danielle. I'm so excited, like a puppy. The healing. Oh my gosh, the healing power of energy work. I know the name. Oh my gosh. Anyways, From Chaos to Calm, the healing power of energy work. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, it's important. What you're doing is really important. So thank you for what you do.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been an amazing conversation. I am like, there's so many things. I know when I'm going back to edit this, I'm gonna have a notebook and a pen and a paper, because there's so many things that I feel like you're not only speaking to me, but you are speaking to so many of the women in this audience that are, ready to step into their power or ready to do something, but maybe have that narrative where they're not fully embracing and loving who they are. So I have absolutely loved this conversation. I feel like we could probably go on for hours with this conversation. But I do want to be respectful of everybody's time, so we will wrap it up. Can you share with us the easiest and the best way for our listeners to connect with you if they're obviously TikTok is one which I didn't know, and I can't wait to find you on TikTok because this is going to be amazing. I'm going to be one of your new stalkers for sure.
Woo! I love my community. They're so amazing. I really do. I do love them. Other than that, so everything else is linked to my Facebook. If you have Facebook, I'm verified, so it's a long name. But if you just look up Danielle Booher, you can even Google me.
Mm.
Interviews I've been on will pop up. My podcast will pop up. My book should pop up. All those things. All my social medias, my websites, all that. The only thing that will not pop up is my TikTok, Soul Rise Intuitive, because I am a nurse. I didn't attach the one that has to do with the oracle cards and the pendulum and all that stuff, because I don't want a patient to find me and say, oh my gosh, I don't feel comfortable with her being my nurse because of whatever. And I just don't want that to happen at work. But yeah, you can follow me. I just did one psychic medium readings. I do the cards. I do a lot of stuff, but it's all just to help you get closure and clarity and help eliminate those symptoms of everything, because that trauma just lingers. But anyway, you can find me lots of different ways. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So guys, I will make sure that everything is in the show notes, so that you can grab her information really quickly and you don't have to, especially if you're driving and listening to this, please don't go off the road trying to write down what she's talking about. I will make sure it's in the show notes for you. Danielle, again, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your heart, for your sharing your story with us today. I really think that you are this amazing bright light. Your energy is like just insane. I've loved it. I'm like
Thank you.
goosebumps over and over again. It's been fantastic. And I really think what you shared today is going to help women to step into that space, to rebuild, to forgive themselves, and to step in where they can start to really fully love and appreciate who they are again. And I think that's so powerful. Like I said, guys, I will make sure all of her information is there for you so that if you are feeling that this really resonates, maybe you would like to book a session with her so that you can, work through some of this trauma if you're in that space like she was, where that invisible trauma and pain is causing you to not live your full life. I highly recommend working with the energetics to do that, to move that through. It's an absolutely amazing tool. You guys know I love my EFT, so I'm all about that. Um, and remember, if today's episode has resonated with you, please share it with a friend who needs to hear. And make sure that you are following along on our podcast, Chaos, Clarity, and Confidence, on wherever you listen so that you can be in line to get the next and the newest episodes. And make sure to join our free women's community as well. Everything is also on my website, information in the show notes. So until next time, remember that chaos is just the beginning of your clarity. Your clarity will lead you to your confidence. So thank you again for being here, and we will see you next week.